Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Lords of the Night. With me, as always, is the Lord of Pit. Oh, wait. No, he's not, because he's late. Or he's not showing up. I'm not quite sure which, but Monkey's not here yet. But with me is the Lord of Pennies, Satsu 2 cents.
What up, though?
And I am your host, Scribe, the Lord of Punishment. And trust me, if and when Monkey shows up, he will be punished. But that aside, hello, chat. Hello, everyone. Hope everyone has had a good week and a good weekend ahead of you. I know I've had a relatively productive day, I suppose, all things considered. How about you, Satsu?
Pretty good day overall. Nothing bad happened. Some stuff showed up. Some packages I was waiting for. So yeah, pretty good.
I'm informed in the chat that Little Butt Grand Monkey is visiting today, so maybe that is what is keeping him distracted. But he hasn't told us he wasn't showing up, so I'm assuming he will just sooner rather than later. But in the meantime, in absentia, Monkey Dick, Jim Jones, movies, video games, hit that like button if you have not already. And a good number of you haven't, at least 50% of you. So I'd appreciate it. And share our stuff. Share it far, wide, and sideways, because you all know YouTube does not, or at least does not help to advertise such for us. So that being said, are you guys presumably gaming tonight?
Presumably, yes.
All right. Thank you, Terry DeMontis. With Monkey's new internet latency issues, he can be the Lord of Ping. Although that might be a racial slur. I'm not quite sure, depending on the context. So, well then, let us get into the schnuzz, which Monkey will just have to miss out on, I guess, as we begin.
Let's do it.
All right. Well, let's talk about Iran, because we almost started war with Iran late last night or early this morning or something, and then didn't. I kind of heard parts of it on the radio this morning, but I didn't have a chance to get too far into it. So let's see what the latest is. Administration ponders more Iran sanctions, but hasn't imposed them yet, despite Trump's claim. Okay. One day after coming within minutes of military strikes on Iran, well, that was actually the story I wanted to read, so let me pull that one up first. We'll come back to the sanctions one here. President Donald Trump said Friday that he called off the attack on Iran just as the U.S. was cocked and loaded, unquote, to strike because he decided there would be too many deaths for a proportionate response to the downing of a U.S. drone earlier this week. Quote, "We were cocked and loaded to retaliate last night on 3 different sites when I asked, how many will die? 150 people, sir," was the answer from a general. 10 minutes before the strike, I stopped it. Causing so many casualties, he added, would not have been, quote, proportionate to shooting down an unmanned drone, unquote. Well, I can't argue with him on that one. So
I can't wait to see the articles on why Trump is still a horrible human for making that decision. Somebody's going to try to be like, this is why this is a bad thing.
Yeah, a horrible human or weak on national security or something like that. And I've seen a lot of things on Twitter today because, like I said, I didn't know the details of the story, but I saw a lot of people like saying, if you wanted more people to die over a drone, you wanted that to be the spark for a greater conflict. It's like, no, let's not. Let's not be like that. I don't think anybody really wants a new war. And people cheering it on are thinking that this should be the effective Gulf of Tonkin excuse to start a new conflict.
You think Obama would have did it?
No, I don't think so. I think I think he would be. Well, first off, he probably wouldn't have ended the Iran treaty that we had with them, the nuclear treaty, or our involvement in it, because he was the one that brokered it in the first place. But anyway, let's see. Trump also said that he is in no hurry, touted the U.S. military as by far the best in the world, and said he had imposed new sanctions against Iran last night. Okay, so let's go back to the sanctions story. Quote, we have additional avenues of sanctions pressure to impose. All right. We have got additional sanctions for sure, a senior administration official told a small group of reporters Friday. Well, why don't you name this person? A senior administration. I don't understand this. I mean, familiar with the matter, just some random administration official. Quote, I would not say that the president is thinking about military options. The primary thing we're thinking about is additional sanctions, except that he was thinking about military options tonight or today or whatever. So, boy, talk about mixed messages. This official cautioned, however, whoever this official was, that the president has not taken military action entirely off the table. Well, we already know that. Quote, that's an option the president maintains at all times, said this official. What? Why are you not naming this person? He talked to he, she, it, whatever, talked to the reporters. This was not some secret thing. You're not saying this was off the record or anonymity or something. You didn't even add that part. Why are you?
So is it just becoming, is this like the new thing where it's just like nobody is ever to be named, period? Like, it doesn't matter the circumstances. Do not name anyone ever.
I mean, I understand this is not the end of the world kind of thing. It just irritates me when they have to jump through so many hoops to tell us that they're not going to tell us who this was for reasons that are entirely unclear. Tehran has threatened to next week restart enriching uranium. What? How about Tehran has threatened to restart enriching uranium next week? In violation of the 2015 nuclear deal from which Trump withdrew the U.S. in 2017. Well, if we withdrew ourselves from the deal, Iran isn't necessarily obligated to abide by it, which is one of the things that I wasn't that jazzed with the pulling out of the deal. When pressed by CNN on why the administration will impose sanctions on Iran for violating an agreement the U.S. has itself withdrawn from, the senior administration official explained that any additional sanctions will be intended as punishment for a range of behaviors, including Iran's missile program and its support for terrorism. Not for its attacks on the tankers? You'd think that'd be enough. But I don't know. Anyway. So I'm not going to complain that we're not going down the route of military action.
Me neither.
At all. Sanctions won't do much of anything. If Iran is planning on enriching uranium, they're going to enrich uranium. This is just going to, cause tensions to increase. And if they either undertake or through proxies undertake any further action against our allies or our aircraft, one way or the other, at some point, something's going to give. So I don't know if there's a diplomatic solution to this, given how the dynamic between Trump and Iran has been since he took office. So fingers crossed we don't end up in a new war, because fuck knows we don't need that. And if it did come down to that, Russia's allied with Iran. I really would not like World War III to start this year, or any year, to be honest. But
yeah, I'm not a fan of the concept either. Although there is a tiny little cynical part of me, that little dark part of me that I keep down inside the corner, and try to keep them at bay. Who's just like, society needs it though. We probably don't, but I think society does.
All right. Well, moving on from that, let's refer to the very creative title I came up for tonight's show. You like that, Satsu?
Yes, I do.
You didn't even see it, did you?
I'm looking at it right now.
Oh, okay.
And I'm singing the song in my head.
All right. Well, good. Joe. So here's the latest hot take on probably what we have to look forward to next week with the debates. Joe Biden's segregationist comments loom large as 2020 Democrats gather in South Carolina. When Joe Biden entered the race a few months ago, he looked like an unquestioned frontrunner here. far outpacing the rest of the Democratic field with his long burnished reputation in South Carolina. Yeah, and you know who told me that he was an unquestioned frontrunner? CNN, specifically Chris Cillizza and Harry Enton. Boy, oh boy, for weeks on end, Joe Biden's the #1 pick. Oh my God. Oh, whoops. You mean things changed in the course of time ahead of the elections? I guess we have to start talking iffy now.
It is amazing watching these people like build, like, I'm trying to think of an analogy, like build a house and then walk away from that house and be like, oh wow, oh shit, there's a house there. And it's just like, yeah, we watched you build it. And they're like, no, we didn't build it. It's we don't know how the house got there. We just fucking you've been building this house for weeks. Like, why are you pretending like you have not just built this house? We watched you do it. They build up all this shit and they push all these narratives, and then they walk away from the narrative, and then like a week later they're just like, wow, you hear about that narrative that's growing? It's like, yeah, that was you. The fuck happened between then and now?
Well, there's a part of me that sees this in a very cynical light. Okay, anybody who was paying attention to 2016 and at the field of Republican candidates that were on those stages, everybody and their brother from the beginning was like, well, here's our rankings and Trump's all the way at the bottom. Okay. Now, what lesson could be learned from that experience? Well, don't underestimate anybody until after you've seen what happens by the end of the debates or as things proceed. And yet these guys are pretending. And I mean they're pretending, because I don't think Chris Cillizza and Harry Enton and all these other pundits, I don't think they're stupid. I just think that they have to keep the game rolling. They have to keep this frame of this competitive, tense, horse race mentality about the whole thing to gain attention from viewers, gain clicks, etc. When I think, honestly, and I maybe I'm wrong, but I think honestly, if they came out instead and do like what we've been talking about, like, I'm curious to see how Cory Booker will do. I'm not gonna like make a prediction like, oh, Cory Booker's gonna completely slay everybody. I don't know that. I don't know what's gonna happen on that stage. I don't know if somebody that I don't even think has a chance in my sort of back of my mind, like Jay Inslee. I mean, for all I know, Jay Inslee, who nobody even like knows or talks about, but it's like the one guy that I look at that list of people, and the one guy that I don't know anything about comes to mind, like, maybe he's the next Donald Trump in the realm of just like taking over things. But I don't know. But I can say I'm interested to see Cory Booker go up against Elizabeth Warren, or I'm interested to see this. Like, I'm curious, but I'm not going to start making declarative statements as to who is up front, because I don't know, and neither do you. And everything can turn on a dime tomorrow. But somehow they are willfully obscuring that knowledge, that lesson from their own output, even though I don't think they've necessarily obscured it from their own minds behind the scenes.
Yeah, it's like watching kids operate, like watching a first grade class like interact on the regular basis, where it's just like you slap a kid in the back of his head and walk away, and they're like, you slap that was me. It was me. I didn't do that. It's just like, oh my God, like, and it's so fucked up because they are in the public eye. Like, these people are in the public eye. They write, the journalists, they write publicly and they put that shit out for everybody to see. And the politicians, they do all the shit that they do publicly and everybody knows about it. And it's just like 2 weeks and they're like, that never happened. Like, yeah, that never happened.
Yeah, or I mean, it's like I'm following Chris Cillizza on Twitter, and I just remember, every 3 or 4 days or every week or whatever it was, he and Harry Enton would put out their top 10 list of here's who's ranked right now, etc. And we've read their comments before, and then as soon as there was any sort of like, and everybody knew, trying to take down Joe Biden was coming. Because it's a competition. You've got 20 Democrats, 23 or whatever, I guess now, who are at least named candidates or something. And they're all competing. It's a competition. It's not like Joe Biden has, manifest destiny or something to become the Democratic nominee. Everybody else wants to become president. So did they not think that they were going to be eating each other alive up to the point and through the debates? Anyway. Sorry, I'm going off on a sort of related, but still a tangent. So let's see. What's with it? When Joe Biden entered the race a few months ago, he looked like an unquestioned frontrunner here, far outpacing the rest of the Democratic field with his long burnished reputation in South Carolina. He is still topping the polls, but the former vice president arrives for the state's biggest Democratic gathering of the year, overshadowed by his boasts about his ability to work with segregationist senators during what he has described as a more civil time in politics. The fallout from his comments have dominated the political conversation nationally this week, including presidential rival New Jersey Senator Cory Booker calling on Biden to apologize. Biden, in turn, said he wouldn't and added that Booker should apologize to him. Representative James Clyburn of South Carolina, the number 3 Democrat in the House, has offered Biden cover for his remarks, telling reporters that he worked with the noted Dixiecrat, South Carolina Senator Strom Thurmond, who loomed large over politics here for decades. Clyburn will host more than 20 Democratic rivals on Friday evening for his world-famous fish fry, a signature stop on the campaign trail. On Saturday, most of the Democratic field will speak at the state's Democratic Party convention, as well as at a forum hosted by Planned Parenthood. Put together, the series of events this weekend offers candidates a chance to make their pitches to the majority Black primary electorate, as well as test out their messages ahead of the first primary debate in Miami next week. In an interview Friday, Clyburn dismissed the criticism from Biden's Democratic rivals that he was celebrating a racist. Quote, "No, come on," Clyburn said, standing on the grounds of the South Carolina State House where a Confederate flag once flew. Quote, "When you celebrate your ability to work with a racist, you're celebrating a racist? Come on, I enjoy being able to work with Republicans. I'm not a Republican, and I don't celebrate anyone who is, but I work with them," unquote. Clyburn's not talking wrong there.
Yeah,
but that's beside the point.
Jesus Christ. That's that shit I be talking about though, where it's like they know what he means, and it really kills me too, because like whenever I envision these people talking about this stuff behind the scenes, like they're not writing, they're not within a public capacity, and nobody else can hear them, and somebody's like, "Hey, I saw your article. You really think that?" They're like, "No, that's ridiculous. Like, why would any human think that?" It's like, oh, okay. I feel like that's how they are. They're like, no, nobody with a half a brain would believe that shit. But, you know.
We have a birthday. We have a birthday, which means you have to sing too, because Monkey's not here. Unless I'm doing it solo.
You riding solo, bruh.
Am I doing it solo? Okay, well, apparently it's, I'm assuming, because I don't see the last name, I just see the notes, Kara Zarek. Is it Kara's birthday? Is Kara here? I just want to make sure. Sorry guys, when I'm reading, usually I have an extra couple of pairs of eyes watching the chat as I'm doing the news. So whose birthday other than Kara's is it? She's not here. Okay, Kara's not here. Did we know that? I don't want to sing if she's not here, unless it was one of those things where it's like, I'm not going to be here, could you sing for me? I'll listen later kind of thing. I don't know if I missed a message somewhere in the let's see. Della Hayes says if she's not, I'll clip it. Kara Zaring, and she's not here. Chaos Eve is streaming. She isn't here. Oh, I see. So she's over on Chaos Eve's stream. Is that it? Is she over there? Well, I wonder if I should go.
Not there either, so.
But she's not there either. Oh, I was about to say if she's over there, maybe I can get Chaos to send me a link and I can sing to her on that stream simultaneously. Wouldn't that be funny?
God. Streamception.
Okay, well then, tell you what, guys. Unless or until I hear from Kara on what she would like to have happen, or unless there's somebody here that knows, what she'd prefer, I don't want to sing if she's not here. I'll hold off, but I'm happy to do it otherwise. Let's see. Nothing for you says, it's just come to my attention that this is a completely different take on a Scribe and Money show. Well, you're right. Check your logic. How can you be on 2 streams at the same time? Well, it would be like a game of half phone call, because I'd be on a link to that stream and you would hear me singing and talking, which you wouldn't be able to hear Chaos. But over on that stream, you could probably hear me. I think you can do that. I think you can have 2 lives. You can be involved in 2 live streams at once. I might be mistaken. I've never tried it before.
Not 2 hangouts, I don't think.
Oh, not 2 hangouts? Oh, maybe that's it. Okay, well.
I think it'll tell you like you're already in a hangout or something.
Oh, okay. Well, anyway.
Yeah.
All right. Well, keep an eye on the chat, guys. If Kara shows up, I will sing. Because I'd rather do it if she's here. If not, if we get to let's see, fucketry time and she's still not here, I will sing and people can clip it. So we'll do it right at the top of the hour so it's easy to find. Okay, with that being said, no more of Biden. I mean, we are going to do we're going to do some kind of a watch party next week for the debates. We haven't figured out exactly how we're going to do it. It might be as simple as we show up, put the link to a stream that everybody can sort of communally watch with us as we commentate. There might be a way for us to stream the actual footage so everybody has a record of it. Although I personally, I'm still kind of iffy on whether or not that's going to cause a copyright problem for Satsu or Monkey, but we've got a few days to figure it out.
I told you, push come to shove, D-Live, you can do that on there, no problem. We just tell everybody, like, hey, this is where it's happening. Here's the link. Come and watch it.
Yeah. Well, it'll be up to Monkey and Satsu as to how they want to handle it because it's their nights. I get to just sort of go along for the ride. Let's see. So you might remember from several months ago where the mayor of Oakland, California, took it upon herself to let the public know about an upcoming, previously supposed to be kind of quiet ICE set of activities in that area looking for illegal immigrants. And she made a public statement sort of saying that this is coming. Well, it happened again. This time I think it was the New York Times that first broke it. And so I'm not saying anything that hasn't already been in the public realm for the last 24 hours or so, but here you go. ICE set to begin immigration raids in 10 cities on Sunday. Immigration and Customs Enforcement is pressing forward to arrest and deport families with court-ordered removals in 10 cities beginning Sunday, according to a senior immigration official. After President Donald Trump's tweet revealing an operation was imminent, but not giving specifics. But Acting Department of Homeland Security Secretary Kevin McAleenan, I don't know how to say that, has been hesitant about elements of the operation, according to two sources familiar with his thinking. Jesus Christ. ICE has said it was considering options to arrest and deport families who have gone through their legal proceedings, but has refrained from publicly providing the scope and time frame of the operation, which officials say could lead to a situation where a family is separated and could cause a backlash against the department. To that end, Trump's tweet Monday night that ICE, the enforcement arm of DHS, was preparing to deport millions of undocumented immigrants next week was striking, given the figure and decision to disclose an operation prior to its execution. Quote, if you're here illegally, then you should be removed, acting head of ICE Mark Morgan told reporters Wednesday during a call prompted by the president's tweet, and in this case, that includes families, unquote. A senior administration official told CNN the operation had been planned for some time, but said the tweet had put the operation at the forefront. Yep. Okay. Truth be told, yeah, Trump let the cat out of the bag. So it's basically his fault.
Could you imagine if, like, I don't know, for whatever reason, the police is like, hey, we're gonna send a whole bunch of cops out to pick up anybody with active warrants for their arrest right now. Mm-hmm. And there being a group of people like, oh my God, that's so disgusting. What the fuck is wrong with you people? It's like, that's our job.
Well, you know, when the mayor of Oakland did it, and given her intention in doing so was to give a heads up to people, to allow them the opportunity to avoid it.
Right.
Now, I don't think that's what the president was doing. His tweet didn't do anything or imply anything like that. But if you're giving a heads up to people who are knowingly or have been known to be breaking the law actively, that the police are coming and gives them an opportunity to flee or to hide, that is aiding and abetting. I mean, technically, I don't think the president's going to be brought up on charges, and I certainly, as far as I know, the mayor of Oakland hasn't, although there were rumblings that something might have happened. But that always just like under any other circumstances, you would not blare out to the world, "Hey, child molesters, we know where you are and we're coming to get you next Tuesday. Just so you know."
No, stay put.
Yeah, don't go anywhere. Don't leave town. Don't leave your house. We've got your addresses. Like, okay.
Well, like, I mean, I get how the stupidity behind announcing something like that, especially if the objective is to catch them. The part that annoys me, though, are the people who are upset at the fact that it's being done.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like people are like, what? That's crazy. Why would they do that? It's like, why would they enforce the law? I mean, I don't know.
Let's see. And the last story I had, an interesting one, sounds kind of odd. An Alabama megachurch will form its own police force after passage of a controversial law. Now, a church police force. The first thing I thought of when I read that headline, I thought, so a religious inquisition? An Alabama megachurch plans to start its own police force thanks to a new law permitting the church to do just that. The law, signed by Governor Kay Ivey, authorizes Briarwood Presbyterian to, quote, appoint and employ one or more suitable persons to act as police officers to protect the property of the school or academy, unquote. A similar bill was proposed 4 years ago, but it was dropped by the Alabama legislature amid a public outcry over the Presbyterian Church in America's racist history, as well as criticism that the bill was unconstitutional and violated the Establishment Clause's separation of church and state. Yeah, you think? Briarwood Presbyterian is part of the PCA, the Presbyterian Church in America, I guess. Okay. That's the association's name. Briarwood Presbyterian congregation is overwhelmingly white. Nearby Birmingham is 2/3 black. Okay. Okay.
That's why they racist, Scribe.
The PCA is a conservative denomination that originated in early 1970s Alabama. In 2016, it apologized for quote-unquote racial sins that included, quote, the segregation of worshipers by race, unquote, as well as the, quote, participation in and defense of white supremacist organizations, unquote, among other things. Officials at Briarwood Presbyterian Church say a police force is necessary in order to adequately protect its 4,100 members, including 2,000 students and faculty on its 2 campuses. Well, wait. Colleges around the country have their own, like, security departments. Why do you need literal police force? 2,000 students? That's tiny as compared to, like, most, public colleges. What? Yeah, I'm confused.
That is weird.
Does this law only apply to this one church?
I doubt it.
I don't. Let's see the law. Here's a link to the law. Let's see. Bill summary. Relating to law enforcement to amend Section 1622(1) Code of Alabama to authorize the president or chief executive officer of Madison Academy and Briarwood Presbyterian Church and its integrated auxiliary Briarwood Christian School. This is a law specifically benefiting an organization or a small associated group of organizations. This doesn't say that every church in the state can.
Is that normal? That doesn't sound normal.
Okay, I'm no legal scholar. Okay, I remember something called a bill of attainder, where you can't pass a law that benefits an individual or an organization. It has to apply evenly to everyone. That's equal rights under the law. So I'm confused. Now, I'm a legal, novice at best, or not even that. So if this is kosher, no pun intended, okay, it just sounds really off. Let's see. The officers will complete state-certified training by the Peace Officers Standards and Training Commission. The officers will also be trained on the proper use of a non-lethal weapon. Okay. So they're going to have like tasers or like batons or something? The ACLU of Alabama tweeted the new law undermines the separation of church and state. Wait, let me try that again. The ACLU of Alabama tweeted the new law undermines the separation of church and state. Is a threat to our freedom. Okay. I'm reading it as it's written, guys. CNN, again, and I know it's a small thing, but hey, it's the tiny things that cause big problems. Is a threat to our freedom of religion and a violation of the Establishment Clause. We expect this law to be challenged in the courts. Was that? Oh, who's this? Do we have a special guest? Do we? Or uh-oh. Is this a precursor to Grand Monkey?
No.
Hello.
Wait, you're not Grand Monkey?
No, I'm not.
Oh, okay. Well, we were doing the Scribe and Pennies show, and now we have the Scribe, Pennies, and Lady Monkey show. Hello, Lady Monkey.
Hello. Regular Monkey will be here soon. I apologize. I didn't notice the time, and he was taking a nap.
Oh, well, you don't have to apologize. It's his response. He's a big boy.
Well, you would think.
You would think, but he is also kind of a baby. But he needs to sleep, and it's fine. We've Monkey and I have done several Scribe and Money shows in the past, so Satsu and I were doing all right. So what's new and exciting at the Monkey Homestead?
Not much. We do have a visitor, but somebody's being very shy.
Would that visitor be a Grand Monkey?
It is, yes.
Let's see. Can she hear me right now?
Yep.
Hello, Grand Monkey. It's Scribe. Just wanted to say hello. You don't have to talk if you don't want to. It's fine to be shy.
Nope, don't hit the microphone. Are you going to say hi back?
It's okay. You don't have to.
Oh, wait. Let Monkey in on the action. You guys have a good evening.
Oh, okay. Oh, I hear her. She's in the background somewhere. Uh-oh. Aww.
Okay.
Tired Grand Monkey.
Nope. Okay. Are you going to say hi to Scribe? No.
Okay.
Nope. Are you going to say hi to Satsu?
No.
Nope. Okay. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Be right with you guys.
Okay. You going to say hi to Scribe? Nope. You say hi to Satsu? Nope. She sounds like she probably needs a nap herself. Let's see. Yeah, so a private police force for a church by way of a law that explicitly benefits only that church.
I'm so sorry I'm late, guys.
No, it's all right. It's okay. We figured you were. Well, I figured the two possibilities: either you were sleeping or your new internet had crapped out in some fashion.
I fell down the stairs and laid down.
Oh shit, dude! Well, you can go back to bed, dude. You don't have to hang out if you're not feeling good.
No, man, no. Carry on.
Okay. Well, we're just getting into MSS news time, so we'll get into that. Guys, if you have news stories you'd like us to read on the air, please send them to us via Twitter using the hashtag MSSNews. Can't promise we'll get to them all, but we'll do our best. Twitter has the Twitter app has changed its interface again. They put all the little buttons were on the top of the window. Now they're all down the side, and it's kind of confusing.
Yeah, the browser one's very different now.
Yeah. All right, let's see. We will start with this one from Massive Dynamics. And again, guys, if Kara shows up or if I've missed anything else, do some double duty on notifying us in the chat because we've had fewer eyes on it for the last little while. Let's see. So BBC bosses accused of sanitizing Islamist attacks after it emerges reporters will be told to stop using the word terror unless quoting someone else. Okay. The BBC has been accused of sanitizing terrorism under plans for an effective ban on journalists using the word terror. Reporters will be told to avoid using the word to describe any terror attack unless they are quoting someone else. Instead, they will refer to terror attacks by naming specific details, such as the location and the method of slaughter used. Jesus Christ.
Wait, hold on. so they can't use the word terror while
Right.
explaining the method of slaughter.
Yeah, that's. It's like, well, I can't call it a terrorist attack, so what I'll call is a massive truck bombing attack or something.
Yes.
I don't
Some
even.
people did the hurties to other people.
Yeah, there was a nail-filled pipe bomb attack today. Okay. Anyway, the controversial edict means that the BBC will no longer use the phrase terror attack to describe the massacres at London Bridge or Manchester Arena as the corporation did when the atrocities occurred. Reporters would describe them as the London Bridge van attack or the Manchester Arena bomb attack instead. But yesterday, MPs and experts accused the broadcaster of, quote, failing in its public service duty. David Green, a former Home Office advisor and chief executive of the think tank Civitas, said, quote, if they don't want to use that word, then they're failing in their public service duty, which is to be clear and accurate. Quote, I think there is a common usage which has some recognition in law, which if you use attempted killing or injury to a political objective, then that's terrorism. It would be misleading not to say that these are terrorist episodes if they are attempts to advance a political or ideological cause through violence. The Christchurch one in New Zealand was someone a bit wacky, that's understating it, but he was trying to make a political point, and all the Islamist episodes are aimed at a political outcome, unquote. Wacky, you say? Yeah, it's
just a little wacky.
A little wacky. Yeah.
So if you don't call it terrorism, it's not. That makes it all better.
George Carlin's routine comes to mind.
Right?
That reminds me of some fucketry that we'll get to soon.
All right.
It's fucking stupid.
Moving on. Let's see. This one comes from Frosted Glass. Oh, it's Vice News. What does Vice have for us? Black students in Virginia spent months hunting for images of white people in blackface. This reminds me of a story Christopher Hitchens used to tell. And I can't remember the name of it, but he would name off the guy who wrote one of the first big dictionaries or something. Like he was the author of a really big dictionary. And he'd tell this story about how this group of women from the Women's Liberation Club or something. I'm fucking up the details, but trust me, the stories sound. They came to him and said, Mr. Smith, we are so pleased to know that you did not put any offensive words in your dictionary. And the author said, well, ladies, I'm very impressed that you went to the trouble of reading the entire dictionary to make sure they weren't there. If you go looking for things to be offended by, 9 times out of 10, you'll find them. Brianna Harris, a junior at a historically black Virginia State University, got an unusual campus job this past semester. For 6 hours a week at $25 an hour.
Damn.
Fuck. Harris combed through Virginia school yearbooks looking for images of white people doing anything culturally insensitive. I want that job.
Doing God's work.
Yeah. Let's see. People are talking about feminist frequency. We talked about it a little bit last night. We'll probably talk about it a bit more today at Internet Fucketry Time. There's been a lot more analysis and theories coming out, but we'll get there, guys. From February until June, Harris joined 26 hours a week. Okay, well, 6 hours a week, $25 an hour. Okay, it's not that much, but still. That's a lot of money per hour. Harris joined a small team of scholars who worked with local community organizer Chelsea Higgs Wise on a yearbook project inspired by Democratic Governor Ralph Northam's blackface scandal. No kidding. In February, everyone saw Governor Northam's medical school year page? Medical school year page. I mean, yearbook page? Prominently featuring one man in blackface and another in a KKK robe. Northam admitted and then denied that he was one of the two men pictured. He later admitted that he actually did wear blackface to pretend to be Michael Jackson in a dance competition. Wait, I thought that was a different person.
No, he admitted the Michael Jackson part. He just said
Was that it? Okay, I thought there was someone else in the government there who had done something similar. Okay, my mistake.
The lieutenant governor got in trouble for something else.
Yeah, no, I remember that part. Okay, okay. Anyway, Higgs Wise raised over $7,000 on GoFundMe and was determined to launch a project that would empower Black students like Harris to take part in Virginia's political discussions around race, accountability, and leadership. The initial goal was to create an archive and call out whoever they found. Every week, the students met to swap strategies and share discoveries that from the 1920s up until the 70s and 80s. Wait, share discoveries that from the 1920s up until the 70s and 80s period. What? That from? Oh, for fuck's sake. By the end of the process, they cataloged over 380 examples of offensive images and words. Jesus. And then there's a video that accompanies this where I guess they show you the images and words they found. So this is kind of a summary. I'll put a link in the chat. I haven't watched the video, obviously, but if anybody wants to take a look at what... Oh, error, try again. Edit and try. I can't put that in the chat, apparently. Why is that? Is it too many characters or something? Okay, I can't post this, even though it's less than the 200 limit. So maybe they're not letting me post. Oh, I don't... Wait, this doesn't make any sense. Okay, I don't know. I can't put the link in the chat, guys. Go to MSS News, hashtag, and go find the Frosted Glass article, and I guess whatever. Moving on. Okay, this has been going around the news today, too. This one comes from Gorkon. Advice columnist, Trump raped me in the mid-90s. Update, Trump responds. In her upcoming book, What Do We Need Men For? ? A modest proposal. Well, that harkens back to some interesting references. Famous Elle advice columnist E. Jean Carroll. Ooh, I think she's the one that we read from quite often, doesn't it? Mm-hmm. Accuses Donald Trump of forcefully raping her in the mid-1990s, an allegation she says she chose not to make public earlier because she did not want to deal with the potential blowback. Okay. In a statement to the New York Magazine, which published the passage from the book containing the accusation, the White House dismissed her account as, quote, a completely false and unrealistic story surfacing 25 years after allegedly taking place, unquote. In the excerpt of the book, which includes multiple sexual assault allegations, including against former CBS CEO Les Moonves, boy, she just ran the gamut of the most famous accused awful people. Carroll says that in the mid-1990s, when she was 52, okay, she ran into Trump in the luxury department store Bergdorf Goodman in Midtown Manhattan. Okay, recognizing her, Trump asked if she could help him pick out lingerie for another woman. When Trump asked her to model a lace bodysuit, she jokingly suggested that he should try it on instead, she says. Quote, as we head to the dressing rooms, I'm laughing aloud and saying in my mind, I'm going to make him put this thing on over his pants, she writes. Then, she says, things quickly turned from jovial to violent. So wait, you run into somebody who, I mean, they don't say what kind of relationship they had prior to this, but recognizing her, you run into somebody who you don't know personally, but you will walk off with him towards the dressing room at a department store with lingerie.
Yeah.
At 52. I mean, you weren't some impressionable teenager or something. Okay. Quote, the moment the dressing room door closed, he lunges at me, pushes me against the wall, hitting my head quite badly, and puts his mouth against my lips. I am so shocked, I shove him back and start laughing again. He seizes both my arms and pushes me up against the wall a second time, and as I become aware of how large he is, he He holds me against the wall with his shoulder and jams his hand under my coat dress and pulls down my tights. I am astonished by what I'm about to write. I keep laughing. I'm astonished too, honestly. The next moment, still wearing correct business attire, shirt, tie, suit jacket, overcoat, he opens the overcoat, unzips his pants, and forcing his fingers around my private area, thrusts his penis halfway or completely, I'm not certain, inside me. It turns into a colossal struggle in a department store dressing room.
Okay. There are so many things wrong with this story. But anyway.
Hold on. I am wearing a pair of sturdy black patent leather 4-inch Barney's high heels, which puts my height around 6'1". 6'1"? And I try to stomp his foot. I try to push him off with my one free hand. For some reason, I keep holding my purse with the other. And I finally get a knee up enough to push him out and off, and I turn, open the door, and run out of the dressing room. With your pants down around your ankles and having been laughing and struggling in a dressing room.
Okay, so just to be can we talk about how difficult it is to put your dick inside of a girl who is standing right in front of you, regardless of if there's a height difference or not, while she is cooperating, like working with you to like make this happen? That's like a task. It sounds
This is
crazy.
bullshit. This is bullshit.
That sounds insane.
Look,
if her story is true, if this happened, it didn't happen like this.
Yeah, there's no way.
The logistics of it, just trying to picture these actions. I mean, again, you're going to making a joke. Maybe you could model this for me. Ha 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 ha. And then walking to the dressing room with a man you only know as a celebrity. You're going to try to make him wear the lingerie over his clothes as you go into a dressing room alone with him. And then all this other stuff happens where you keep your purse in your hand, you're 6'1" in heels. He's trying, face to face, he's trying to put himself in. Okay, again, like Monkey said, if this did happen, it didn't happen like this.
Yeah,
because it doesn't make any sense. And then no other witnesses, nothing was reported. There was nothing else to back it off of, and she sat on it for 25 years. She was 52 at the time. Okay, I don't know.
Well, the next part of the story goes on to say that she told two friends, and that New York Magazine verified she did tell those friends at the time. How could you verify you told it at the time?
New York Times was there with her when she told her two friends. So they verified.
I don't know. And this is okay. And this is one of the things. It's one of those situations where it's like, okay, there's no way to say yay or nay about it at this point.
Yeah.
There's no physical evidence. There's no witnesses. It's your story, word against his, etc. We're right back into a Kavanaugh situation. And so if Trump had done something, actually did something, there's no way to prove it or disprove it. It's just a story. And coming forward 25 years after the fact to tell something that just sounds, I mean, as I'm reading that story, I cannot help but think back to Jussie Smollett. It just sounds way too oddly convenient that all those things fell into place. So I don't know if I don't know if she's lying or not, but it doesn't sound credible. That's all I can tell from that. And so anyway.
And not just that. Going back to what Satsu was saying about how hard it is, with a woman standing in front of you when she's cooperative.
Yes.
With all of your clothes still in place and just your fly open, fuck off.
Yeah, it just like Monkey said, if it did happen, because we still have to say that it didn't happen that way. Either that or she left out the fact that Trump's dick is ginormous.
Yeah. His dick's got to be fucking huge.
All right. Thank you, James Colley. For the record, Donald Trump is 6'2" tall. Okay, so they were of equitable height at the time, let's say. fine.
Well, again, what about leg size? That does matter in that situation
wait,
too.
he's 6 foot tall now, right?
Yeah.
Was he that tall 20 years ago? Or 25 years
are you
ago?
asking if he shrunk?
Yeah, maybe a little bit. I don't know how it operates, but
I'm just
anyway,
saying that didn't happen. The story she told did not happen.
Yeah. All right, moving on. Let's see, we already did that one. I don't want to read this one from Frosted Glass. We already did one from Frosted Glass anyway, so yeah, that one deals with Jessica Jones season 3, which I'm still watching, unfortunately. I will eventually have a stream with SDA going over Jessica Jones season 3 because that is now our sort of minor tradition. I have a lot to say about that show. Let's see. This one comes from Quinn Harrison. North Carolina lawmaker says Lincoln, quote, unjustly invaded the South, a sovereign nation.
What?
Well, there's a hot take.
What happened?
Let's see. It started when North Carolina legislator Larry Pittman compared Republican U.S. Senator Tom Tillis to a Democrat. It escalated after Tillis's wife responded. And it boiled over Thursday when Pittman compared President Abraham Lincoln to Nazi leader Adolf Hitler for the second time since 2017. Quote, it was only a matter of numbers, Pittman wrote on Facebook, responding to another Facebook user. Quote, Lincoln was responsible for the unnecessary deaths of 800,000 Americans. Hitler was responsible for millions more, both unjustly invaded and subjugated foreign nations, unquote. Right. That's what happened. All right.
I got nothing to add.
Let me ask just a question, just for the sake of things, and maybe my historical memory is off a little bit. Fort Sumter. Do we remember attack on Fort Sumter? The thing that kind of like
Civil War.
That kind of started the Civil War. Yeah. Now who attacked Fort Sumter? Who was that again? Was that the South by any chance? Was that the Confederate Army by any chance that attacked the Union Fort Sumter? Am I have that mixed up? Maybe I have it reversed. You know, maybe was it the Confederate? Let's see. The Battle of Fort Sumter was the bombardment at Fort Sumter near Charleston, South Carolina, by Confederate States Army, and the return gunfire and subsequent surrender by the United States Army that started the American Civil War. Yes. Lincoln unjustly invaded a sovereign nation. That's what happened. Fucking anyway. Moving on.
Who wrote that?
What that I just read?
Yeah, no, the article.
Oh, that was sorry. Let me get back to it. I closed the. The article is from the News Observer, and the lawmaker in North Carolina was Larry Pittman.
All right.
So talk about revisionist history. Oh boy. Okay, moving on from that. We'll do another couple more here, guys. Oh, sorry.
But before you do move on, when that one article you tried sharing, I tried sharing it. I tried using the shortener to share it, and it still wouldn't let me. The only way I was able to use it or to share it was to share the tweet itself. So I don't know what's up with YouTube, but
okay. Well, can't share links today. Oh, okay. This one comes from Check Your Logic. Oh, I love stories like this. I like love stories. You like love stories?
I'm down.
Sometimes.
All right. Jealous husband, 52, used chainsaw to carve up the marital bed while his wife lay in it because he thought she'd been cheating.
Okay, Scribe. I feel like I've been Smeckledorf.
A husband took a chainsaw to his marital bed while his wife was lying on it after accusing her of cheating on him. Anthony Fancy Anthony Fancy, 52, stormed into the bedroom he shared with Sarah Ford Fancy while drunk and set about sawing the bed into pieces in front of her. Fancy screamed, quote, "You have sucked someone else in this bed," as he hacked through the piece of furniture.
Wow.
Prosecutor Alex Mann told Blackburn Magistrates Court the bedroom door burst open and he was standing there with a chainsaw, which was running in his hands. He started slashing down on the bed, cutting the sheets until the blade got snagged and the motor stalled. Miss Ford Fancy's son came home midway through the incident and heard his mother screaming and the noise of a chainsaw. He since claims he has had nightmares about Fancy trying to enter the house. Fancy of Barnoldswick Lancs, this is in the Britain, guys, admitted a fray, but avoided a jail sentence after Sarah wrote to the prosecution saying he had not harmed her in over 9 years together. She told them, quote, "He is my best friend, soulmate, and confidant. He did not want to hurt me. He was aiming his anger and frustration at the bed, which he thought I had been sharing with another man, which is not true. I have suffered separation anxiety. My days are empty. I pine for him. I want to get our marriage back on track."
Wow.
Crazy love, everybody, or someone who is just codependent out of their fucking gourd. But anyway.
I was able to share that article with no issue.
What the hell? YouTube? Okay. Okay.
Prospero put forth the possibility that the headline contains the word blackface, so maybe that was it.
Oh, okay. Interesting. Okay. Oh, all right. Let me get back to this. All right, we'll do, well, we might have time for one or two more. Let's see. This one comes from Jim Healis. Excuse me. Democrats unanimous as House passes bill forcing schools to let male athletes compete in girls' sports. This is from May 17th of this year. So I think, yeah, we already talked about this. So I'm going to move on. Sorry, Jim. Let's see. I think we talked about that one the other day. This one comes from Sarah, just Sarah, not Sarah Plyer, but whatever the @ is, from a tome 122.
It's Sarah Cerra, right?
No, it's Sarah.
Or Serra.
No, it's Sarah.
Oh, I'm not familiar with that, Sarah.
It's a kitty cat avatar, Sarah, and the @ that's the handle, but the @ address is from a to me, maybe, or from a tome. I'm not quite sure. 122. Poland lawmaker invites Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez to visit and study concentration camps for real and accuses her of cheapening history. A politician in Poland has invited Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez to visit his country as debate continues over her comparison of southern border detention centers to concentration camps. Polish politician Dominik Czerski, I can't pronounce that, I apologize, is the vice president of the European Conservatives in the European Council and is among many who have taken offense at the comment Ocasio-Cortez made on Instagram Live with her followers on Monday. In describing the conditions faced by migrants seeking asylum, Ocasio-Cortez said the Trump administration is responsible for, quote, running concentration camps in our southern border, and that is exactly what they are, unquote. Then in reference to the renowned phrase that pledges never to allow a repeat of the atrocities of the Holocaust, she added, quote, "Never again means something. We need to do something about it. This is not just about the immigrant communities being held in concentration camps. It's a crisis of if America will remain America in its actual principles and values," unquote. Her comments have been condemned by politicians and some Jewish groups. House GOP leader Kevin McCarthy called for her to apologize. On Thursday, Tuzinski tweeted a letter of invitation to Poland so that, quote, she may see that scoring political points with inflamed rhetoric is unacceptable in our contemporary Western societies, unquote. Yep. Okay.
Do you
Two
think,
things. Oh, go ahead. You first, Satsu.
do you think she has the balls to tell this person that they don't know what the fuck they're talking about?
No.
Yes.
No, I don't think even she's that stupid.
I think she's that stupid.
Two things. Where she says never again is how you know for a fact she was talking about the Nazi concentration camps. Two, if she does take him up on the offer, I think they should give her the full experience and let her have a shower while she's there.
Oh. Okay, I'm going to wrap up with this one because this is an ongoing mystery, let's say. This one comes from Janus. I have 2 more. Now remember, this story is from today, okay? 2 more Americans reported dead after Dominican Republic vacations.
Yeah, don't go there and eat, man. What is the Hard Rock Cafe, I think?
Something like that. Or it's well, the first couple were at a particular resort, and then something's going on. 2 more Americans, a man from Kansas and a woman from Pennsylvania, died during vacations in the Dominican Republic amid a recent spate of tourist deaths in the country, according to a new report. The families of Chris Palmer, a 41-year-old Army veteran from Kansas who died on April 18th, 2018. Oh, okay. They're just uncovering things from the past. All right. Excuse me. And Barbara Diane Mazer Mitchell, a 69-year-old retiree nurse from Pennsylvania, who died on September 17th, 2016. Okay. Guys, just the law of averages said that people can die in places over the course of several years. This is... both Palmer... Well, they both died of heart attacks. Okay, this is a non-story. Sorry, guys. I thought this was like something that happened like in the last week or something. Like 2 more people died of a strange disease. No, they died of natural causes, but just happened to die in the Dominican Republic 2 years apart and a year apart from the recent spate. Okay? What was the publication? New York Post. Yeah. Okay. Thank you, New York Post, for sensationalizing 2 completely unrelated situations. And with that, guys, we're going to move on to YouTube time. Thank you so much for all the stories. Sorry I'm going to get to them all. But we do our best to rotate as fast as we can. Let's see. Satsu, what did you do today?
Well, let's see here. I went to the store to get some stuff that I needed for the cooking that I did tonight. I recorded a video, ramen review video. I made cheeseburger soup because that's what I had went in to make. But for some reason, I'm not sitting well with the video. I feel like something's missing, and I have to watch through it again and see. But I don't know if I want to use it, so we'll see. But I did record that whole video and that whole thing, and I made it, and it tastes good. I just, for whatever reason, I'm not okay with the video, so we'll see. Fortunately, I bought enough stuff where I can make it again if I really want to, but I have to figure that out. Outside of that, just background stuff, trying to get everything together for the baby.
All right, Monkey.
Let's see. Did Monkey in the morning, and then I was on with the Ghost Poo guys. Had a good time over there. And yes, if you were watching that, I recycled my shower joke. That's okay. That's what I do. And then tonight we have some video game stuff coming up for you for what's it called? 7 Days to Die over on 2 Cents Plus. Oh, and I did some more testing of my ability to stream using the new service, and it's working out pretty well. There's a few times that it drops a little bit, but it's not the best service you can get. So I'm happy with the tests have gone very, very well. So yeah, that's what I've done.
Complete side thing. I'm glanced at my Twitter feed, and the Washington Post just posted a story, which I obviously can't read because I don't subscribe. But the perspective category, it says, "Is it okay for a white author to write black characters? I'm trying."
Oh, hold on. I'm assuming this is being asked by a white person.
Yes, I assume so as well. I can't tell you for sure because I can't actually read the article because both I can't look at it because I've looked at all my limit of articles for this month on Washington Post, and even the private window now doesn't work. They figured out a way around that too. So,
Well, one of the conundrums that I've dealt with when it comes to this identity politics bullshit is the demand that there be more representation of Black characters, while simultaneously telling white people that they aren't allowed to write them.
Well, I mean, the simple answer to this question, is it okay for a white author to write? The answer is yes, and that's all there is to it. I mean,
that should be a pretty short article.
Yeah, a very short article, but obviously this person is paranoid as hell and has a whole lot of internalized guilt. I mean, what are you going to do? Hey, tell you what, play it safe. Give absolutely no description of what your characters look like. Absolutely no. Just write your characters, give them names, give them personalities, maybe style of dress or something, but don't write any details about what they look like. Let the audience decide for themselves, and you never have to worry about it. And then when they finally, if you keep your fingers crossed, cast the movie based on your book, they don't have to worry about offending anybody by not having the right person playing the role.
I think you have the wrong idea there, Scribe. I think what they need to do is only write honkies.
Oh, okay.
Well, you know what's going to happen. If they do what Scribe said, then all of the non-racists are going to point out all the context clues to give you the stereotypes, if you will.
Yeah.
That
they ate chicken.
Yeah, that character had a watermelon. Oh my God. That character's a lawyer. You know what that means.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway. It's going to
happen. He was cutting the lawn. Okay.
That was a side thing, but as far as YouTube time, so I got a couple things. First off, I finished the first draft of my script for my next TEDx talk video.
There's no Black people in it, is there?
No, but there's a I presume. Well, actually, I can't presume that there is a white male doing the talking. Now, the entirety of the talk itself, the original video, is like 25 minutes long. This is one of the longest TEDx talks I've ever seen. They usually go for about 12 to 15 minutes, somewhere in there. And so I knew ahead of time, I'm not going to do the whole thing. But I didn't end up just picking and choosing highlights. I got through about 8 minutes of it. And trust me, it is a densely packed 8 minutes. And then it got to the point where he says something to the effect of, and again, I'm paraphrasing, masculinity teaches boys that they are entitled to act a certain way like this and treat women a certain way like this, even how they're allowed to sit.
What?
And I paused. Now, the guys, just so you know, and I often do this, I write my scripts live as I'm watching the video for the first time so that my reactions are sort of chronological, etc. If I have gone ahead and I want to give some, foreshadowing, you'll hear me say, like, later in this video, they'll say, but in this instance, now I went right through and I paused it right there and I said, are you really going to tell us that manspreading is a result of masculinity? And then I said, well, you're absolutely right, because in order to do that, you have to have balls. I wonder if our speaker does. And then, I shit you not, the speaker starts walking across the stage to a pre-prepared fold-out chair, sits down, and demonstrates to the audience what exactly that means. And I'm like, I'm done. I'm done with this talk. There's nothing more that can come after this that isn't just a recitation of everything that's come before this point, because this is about as low a common denominator as you can get as to making your quote-unquote point about the evils of masculinity, spreading your legs in front of the audience to demonstrate manspreading. I thought that's a perfect place to end. That's going to become the thumbnail for this thing. That guy sitting there with his legs spread. Because I was just like, you gotta be shit. Now, he says a lot of other ridiculous shit in this thing, but that was it. So anyway, I have the bits and pieces that I'm going to be reviewing done or chopped up. I have the first draft of the script written. There's a couple of revisions I want to make tomorrow, and I did enough stuff today. So granted, nothing else comes along to interrupt me. Tomorrow I'll be revising the script, recording the audio, probably starting to assemble it. If I get really industrious, I might have it done tomorrow. Otherwise, probably Sunday. So there's that. Secondly, also on Sunday at 12 p.m. Pacific, 3 p.m. Eastern Time, I will have as my guest Peter Stewart, a viewer of the show. who will be talking to me about cybersecurity, which he has some extensive knowledge in. And I'll be asking about various things since data breaches and the like, or fears thereof, are big things in the news today. We'll go over some basics, and then I'll quiz him a bit, since I know, as far as actually practicing of it, I know nothing about the actual ins and outs of cybersecurity. So there you go.
Will there be a NordVPN commercial in the middle?
No, not unless NordVPN wants to sponsor my channel. I mean, that is as ambiguous a product as I can think of that doesn't say anything about moral or political views. Although it might say something about, I'm sure Nord somewhere is. Well, I know actually it's a Skyrim reference. There you go. Sure. Aside from that, I did something today, and I'm debating. I'm debating something. So, I was walking home from work, and as I put a stream up on my main channel. And I say main channel specifically, I'll get there in a second, a few days ago, about the creative frustration stream, because I've been sort of creatively frustrated lately with making videos and stuff. But it goes beyond just videos. I just sort of have a lot of it's like mental cabin fever, because I don't have as many sort of outlets for all the creativity energy in my head or my imagination as I used to, not being involved in role-playing groups and LARP and everything as I used to several years ago. So I'm trying to find an avenue that I can get that stuff out in a sort of productive and enjoyable way. I shared with Monkey last year a outline of a sort of world building exercise I was doing for myself regarding a story I was writing, sort of set in a cyberpunk universe. I don't know if Monkey remembers that.
I do.
And so I have this outline of this sort of setting that I came up with, but as try as I might, I can't come up with I'm having a hard time writing a story set in it. So I had an experimental idea in my head, and to do this experimental idea, I thought, well, I shouldn't put this on my main channel because it's not anything to do with my usual content. I can occasionally drift away from my usual content, but I don't want to do that. So I thought, well, maybe I'll do something on non-author dark. But then I realized that I forgot the password to that account. So I had to go through all this rigmarole today to recover the password and do all that kind of stuff and log in and make sure it worked and everything. And surprisingly to me, that account, even though it's only got 188 subscribers, which boggles my mind by itself, I can still live stream with that channel apparently, which I didn't think you could do unless you had 1,000 subscribers or something.
No, 1,000 is monetization. I can't remember the threshold for live stream.
Maybe it is only 100. Anyway, so what I was thinking about doing, and again, this is just an amorphous idea, guys. Some of you who are literary fans may know of something called the Writers' Circle that H.P. Lovecraft created, that had several different authors who went on to do amazing things. Like Robert Bloch, who eventually wrote Psycho, was one of in the circle of Lovecraft's Writers' Circle. I was thinking about doing a live stream over on my other channel where I sort of lay out first the details of the setting that I've come up with, and then maybe stream of conscious extra details as I come up with them, and just invite people to write stories set in that universe or whatever. And then maybe, short little bits and pieces or just thoughts or something. And then if they send them to me, I'd then read them on a follow-up stream just to sort of do a little bit of world building idea. That was the thought that came to mind. I don't even know if that makes sense. I don't know if that would work. I don't know if I'm still going to do it, but that's what I was thinking about. So that is technically YouTube stuff. So I'm pondering it. If you guys have any feedback on that, by all means, send me messages on Twitter or something about it, and we'll see. Might still do it in some fashion, but that'll be over on Non-Author Dark. I'll put a link into Twitter when the time comes for people to, and a heads up as to when I'll do the stream, if I do it again. So sorry to be a cock tease like that, but it's just because that's the way I am. All that being said, internet fucketry time. I don't have much of anything really, because I said some snarky things today, but probably nothing that great. I do want to thank Hearst Gravegear for making that reference little video last night.
That was awesome.
That's brilliant. If we had a soundboard, I'd love to have that on there. But anyway,
I'll try to get it on my soundboard.
Okay. Satsu, do you have any fucketry?
Satsu said, "Be right back."
Oh, sorry. Okay, Monkey, do you have any fucketry?
A little bit. Let's see. There was a person, I don't know who it was. Shu had retweeted him, and she did the thing where she tries to protect them. Damn you, Shu. And apparently they've either blocked their stuff or they've deleted this tweet. But it lists the things you should never joke about, because if you do, they're not. You're not funny, and you're only being immature. And they are cancer, autism, 9/11, rape, animal abuse, disabilities, pedophilia, incest, LGBT, depression, Ebola, suicide, death, and people of a different race.
Did you read the thread after that?
No.
Oh, dude, you missed the punchline. That person, in a series of tweets, practically a novel long, backpedaled so fucking hard the dinosaurs felt it.
Oh yeah.
Nice.
It was epic. I mean, they were so suddenly like, I'm so sorry if I offend anybody. It's just that, and they went on for like 8 or 9 tweets, just apologizing, groveling to the feedback they got that was all like, fuck you. It was nuts. So you missed that part. But yeah, the original tweet itself is just ridiculous.
Yeah, you can tell me what's funny when you have a sense of humor, first of all. But even if you try telling me what's funny, fuck you. It's subjective. And you know what? Yeah, sometimes it's immature, and I'm okay with that. Let's see, next. Bill Kristol's really, really mad that we didn't go to war with Iran.
Oh, poor him. Fuck Bill Kristol. Fuck that guy. All his shit about the Iraq war and everything else. Fuck him.
You're right. In response to Trump saying that he wasn't willing to kill 150 people over the drone, this is the tweet that Bill Kristol was responding to. Mm-hmm. Kristol said, he's held the office of president for 2.5 years. He has no idea how to behave as a president. He has no idea how to be president. Because he made the choice not to kill 250 people, or 150 people over $1 million paper airplane.
Bill Kristol was such a fucking cheerleader for the Iraq war. And he made so much hay out of just how it would be easy. We'd be in and out. We'd pay for itself. That guy, I don't understand how that guy's still employed, just except for maybe just novelty value anywhere. He was part of the Project for a New American Century. He's one of the neocon fuckheads who were just like so rabid to try to take over everything and blow up everything. Fuck that guy.
Okay, I got 2 more. I want to try to be real quick on this one. Let's see. Boogie put out a video today where he explains he actually inadvertently helped the guy who wrote the hit piece against Jeremy from the Quartering. It was supposedly a piece about how angry video games get, or video game discussion gets a lot of views on Twitter, or not sorry on YouTube. And if you actually read the article, about halfway through, it becomes very clear that this is just a hit piece against the Quartering. Mm-hmm. And Boogie explains that, he was trying to talk to this guy and explain why that gets views and stuff.
Okay.
There's a lot of people who do this. They try to talk to the press because they think they're going to help. They think the press actually gives a fuck about what they're going to say.
Yeah.
And Boogie was naive here. And stop it, Boogie. Stop trying to be the one who fixes things, because you're not him. Sorry, you're just not. And if you talk to the press, make sure you record it yourself.
Yes, always.
And then the last one that I want, Keith P. Vogel, who works for the New York Times, got upset because Donald Trump tweeted out a little video that envisions himself being president basically for the rest of time. Mm-hmm. And Keith says this, funny, the president of the United States just tweeted a video that envisions him remaining in office for eternity in defiance of both human morality and the 22nd Amendment to the United States Constitution. It is immoral to want to be president for longer than 2 terms, y'all. So FDR, sorry, you immoral piece of crippled shit. I just love that part of it. Look, yes, it would be a violation of the 22nd. That doesn't mean the 22nd can be rescinded. We've done that before, my friend. But immoral? It's immoral? Fuck you.
Yeah, monkey. They taught you to take turns in fucking kindergarten, dude.
Oh man, I immoral. Fuck off. I've never heard anybody from the Times refer to FDR as immoral. So, like, that's interesting. Anyway, that's all I have. I have a few more, but I'll talk about them on Monkey in the Morning later.
All right, Satsu.
Okay, so I have one big piece of fucketry, and then the rest are just probably not worth talking about, but we'll see. So you guys know that EA and a couple other companies were called up to a meeting to talk about their loot boxes and the ethics behind them, and because going forward, there's a lot of places that are really looking at this whole loot box and video games thing and really trying to examine what's going on with them. And the representative for EA was being questioned, and the question was, does she think that their loot box system is ethical? And her very first response to that was, well, we don't call them loot boxes. And he was like, well, I'm not asking you what they're called. I'm asking you if you think that the system that you have in place is ethical. And she said, well, just to be clear, so that way everybody knows it, we don't use the term loot box. They are called surprise mechanics.
Jesus fuck.
Okay, yeah, don't use the word terror, guys. And don't call them loot boxes. For fuck's sake.
You know what? Surprise mechanics would work for the terror thing, too.
They would also work for most horror movies in Hollywood right now. There's a cat in the closet. Surprise mechanic.
Surprise mechanics. Dude. I literally almost choked because I was not ready for that at all. And it was so shocking to me that I had to check to see if this video was genuine, because I'm like, is this like a parody of what actually happened? Because I'm like, there's no way that they actually said that. And she said they're just the same as what was she comparing them to, the eggs or whatever?
The Kinder Egg, is that what it's called?
Yeah, they're just the same as that, and just as fun, and people enjoy them because people buy those eggs, and the mystery is you don't know what you're gonna get, and you open and you find out or whatever, and it's like those are not even remotely close. Like, it just blows my mind. Like, they're trying to drag everybody else down with them, and they figured like all we have to do is change the terminology, and then it's cool. It's not bad anymore. And I think the funniest thing that I heard somebody say was, "Oh, Your Honor, I didn't murder that guy. It was just a surprise funeral." And I'm just like, like, oh my God. What? That shit killed me. I'm like, I cannot fucking believe she just said that. And with a dead serious face too. EA is irredeemable. Like, this is one of those instances where if they got decimated, I'd be like, well, they kind of had it coming. Jesus Christ, that shit was insane. There's a lot of videos coming out about it because, as I said, it's I think this one, this particular hearing, I guess, or meeting was hosted by the UK, I believe, this time around. Because I think they said there's two other kind of countries that already have like gambling laws in place, and basically loot boxes themselves kind of conflict with their current laws or whatever. So that's what the issue is. That's how it kind of spread. But holy fuck, that was hilarious. And as you can see in the chat, everybody, I didn't rob that bank. It was a surprise withdrawal. Oh my God. Outside of that, I've been fucking with people in this whole changing the color or race of a certain character with drawing, because this thing has gone real far. You guys remember the dude when Black Panther came out? He made that the white Black Panther. It was like a white dude with blue eyes and blonde hair, and he's like, my new artwork for Black Panther's out, and you remember that?
No,
I think I showed you guys it live on stream. We were talking about it when Black Panther came out. It was just a picture of a white dude in a Black Panther suit cartoon, and he was like, look at my new artwork for the Black Panther. I drew him white. I hope that's okay. And the internet fucking exploded. Well, he's back again. And the character, the dark-skinned character from Pokemon or whatever, because everybody was bitching about the fact that people kept drawing her lighter, he literally just drew her as a monkey.
Oh, God.
And once again, the internet fucking exploded. But now, this time, because the tactics are a lot, well, I guess they haven't changed that much from then until now, but this is like now the thing to do. People are doing, like, running ops, like actual ops, and putting links and fucking and bringing, like, rallying people and bringing people together, and they're saying find every single financial gain that this man has and make sure that you try to destroy it. They're like full tutorials on how to go to the website. This is the link you click. Once you get to the website, this is the box you click. Once you click this box, you check these 3 things in this order, and you let them know this word. And here's a preset message that you can put in there to let them know that they have this. And this will send you to Patreon. And he also sells shirts here. And he does, I don't know, just like, holy fuck. I have never seen so many people try so hard to destroy a person over a meme. It is insane. And even the people who were like, this is disgusting, like initially when they saw the post, they were like, this shit is disgusting, like, why would you do that? I get you're trolling, but dude, even they are just like, wow, are y'all trying to fucking destroy this dude? It's crazy. But anyway, that's my fucketry for today.
Alrighty. Well, guys, we'll move on to chat time a little early. If you have questions, comments, concerns, conspiracy theories, complaints, if you have a different word you'd like to have banned and replaced with something that's more sanitized and safer, or a phrase that obviously needs to be fixed because it's too offensive for everyone's tender little ears, put in the chat now. If you have questions for us directly, please put plenty of chat marks after those. If you have statements you'd like us to consider, please put plenty of statement marks after those. And remember, guys, after the stream over on 2 Cents Plus, Monkey and Satsu will be running around killing zombies in 7 Days to Die. Yeah. So we have, check your logic. Am I the only one surprised that guilt by association is immune to Joe Biden?
It's not so far.
It's not. Joe Biden's civil discourse with previous segregationist politicians from the past is coming back to bite him, and Cory Booker specifically went after him. And it will not get any better as we lead up to the debates, guys. You just wait. No one is immune. No one is immune. Ebony Williams, Lords of the Night, have you ever stripped for a significant other? I've taken my clothes off for a girlfriend, yes. Like actually done a dance or something? No.
Yep.
No.
I mean, maybe slightly jokingly once, but not like for full on. RJ Bansma, is EA looking for an excuse to not be investigated? That's probably part of it. But yeah.
I that wording alone right there, that to me says, yep.
Yeah. I don't know how successful that's going to be because, 6 of one thing, half a dozen of the other. It is gambling, but they can try. Nothing for you here. We should ban the terms feminism, intersectionality, and YOLO. Hey, YOLO is one of my favorite songs from Lonely Island, so you can't take that one away. And
I like that song too.
If you take away feminism and intersectionality, that's like a good third of my videos out the door. Holy cats. Thank you, Snubbirth. Context. The Pokemon character had an artist who drew her with some light shadowing or some such. She was shamed by woke Twitter, and the Asian art community told them all where to go, started making all sorts of different colors. Aha. Okay. And thank you, James Colley. Scribe, here is your reparations. We good now? Yes. What did I need reparation? What was done? What was wronged to me by James Colley?
The oppressed BDSM community.
You know what? You're right. They were vilified for quite a while. Every time some nut job who happens to have a BDSM fetish ends up killing somebody, the whole idea becomes persona non grata.
Well, before we move on, YOLO is still a term I use anytime me and Satsu are trying to decide if I'm going to do something stupid on our gameplays. So we can't get rid of that.
Oh, Kara Zering is here. It's birthday song time.
Kara, yes, I sang to her this morning, and now it's time for your follow-up, sweetheart, over here on the main show. Sweetie, this one's for you. And a 1 and a 2. Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday. You're late, by the way.
Happy birthday to you.
Should have been here a long time ago, but whatever.
Happy birthday, dear Kara.
Whose feelings are hurt? Not mine.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Kara. She really is a sweetheart. I got to talk to her on the Minions before. She's a very sweet girl, and I hope you had a wonderful day.
Daniel Fullman asks, Scribe, any sightings of the weird guy that followed you to work? That is some old lore. No. There were additional ones shortly, in relative terms, after that, where we saw him wandering around the office building. We weren't quite sure what to do, but we've since moved offices, and he hadn't shown up more than twice, I think, after that we saw. I did a little bit of investigating. There was a mall nearby to our office, and I called up the mall, and I asked the security office, said, hey, do you have a weird guy by any chance that kind of wanders around there? And I described him to him. I was like, oh, yeah, that guy. Yeah, I guess he's like homeless, or he's living with some people out of a van or something. And he's just, I don't think he's all right in the head, but he just kind of wanders around. He seems kind of harmless, but he's a little creepy. I'm like, okay. So, yeah, he was kind of a known entity in nearby establishments. So, anyway, I haven't seen him ever since. So,
Scribe, you might be the only person I've ever met who said they have called the mall.
Well, it just occurred to me that if there was going to be a place where people, I mean, because down where we were, at the time of morning that he was wandering around when I first saw him, there is nothing open except for the really early hours of the mall. So I thought if anybody would have had any information on this guy as to whether or not he's a regular feature or if he just showed up, it'd be mall security, because there's nowhere else to congregate down there except the mall at that time of the morning. That's what occurred to me. And so, yeah, they knew who it was. Let's see. Check your logic. How is Joe Biden so heavily criticized if he's Obama's former vice president? Because he's the competition.
And he's also white.
Yeah, he's the one to beat. He's the one who's white. I mean, and just like Chris Lewis and all these guys, they're already putting him out as the front runner. And so everybody else who wants to be president has to make their, stake their claim in opposition to Joe Biden being the candidate. And this is how it starts, and it's only going to continue.
You know what? I had an interesting thought in relation to that. Do you guys think that Democratic candidates right now get really uncomfortable whenever, Chrysalis or somebody else comes out and says, this person is the number one spot that is put in the number one spotlight right now.
Certainly.
Everybody needs to pay attention to this person. They're like, oh, shit. Somebody's going to dig up dirt on us.
No, of course. No, I mean, it is a competition, and you have to have a certain level of ego to want to run the country in the first place. And you've got millions of dollars at stake. You've got your personal reputation and career on the line. You've got certain people thinking they're going to make, put their footsteps in the sands of time, depending on what's going on. Yeah, any ratings, any popularity. I mean, the whole thing's a popularity contest. So the polls, the reporters, the press, the media, all of it matters. All of it's important. If Joe Biden is the big name, that's the big name that's got to come down. So sure.
You don't want to be the front runner this early.
No, exactly.
That's what I'm saying.
Exactly.
That's what I'm saying. Like whenever anybody gets named like that and kind of pedestalized, they're just like, would you shut the fuck up?
Yeah. But it's unavoidable, and Joe Biden knew that. And Joe Biden's no spring chicken when it comes to this stuff. He knew what he was getting into, and now he's just gonna have to face the brunt of it. So, we'll see. Satanic cultist, no Mad Lib Scribe. We ran out of time, Satanic. So maybe next time. Let's see. Massive Dynamics, Ranting Monkey. Have you seen the story the comedian Jimmy Carr has told an offensive joke about midgets?
Oh no.
That's the only thing they've found offensive about Jimmy Carr?
Did you hear his mosquito joke?
No.
Let's see if I can do this correctly. So he was asked once, like, what's your most offensive joke? And he said,
oh, yes.
Yeah, he said, it's more mosquito nets need to be sent to Africa because of so many mosquitoes dying of AIDS.
Yeah.
Or something. I know I didn't tell it exactly right, but he tells it better because it's his joke. But anyway, something like that.
Yeah, the punchline is that the mosquitoes are getting AIDS.
Yeah. Chicago Mike, is Hillary Clinton going to run?
No.
Yeah, I'd say no. Although Stacey Abrams, I'm still waiting for her to throw her hat in the ring after the first feeding frenzy's over with. Frosted Glass, how about I don't steal hubcaps, I'm just a surprise mechanic. Oh!
There you go.
Nice.
We need to come up with a whole bunch of those. Guys, start working on coming up with
Yeah, and be sure to tag EA when you do it in tweets and stuff. That's what you got to do.
Oh, the one that somebody sent me on Twitter, I think said goes to casino, loses thousands of dollars. It's like, I don't have an addiction. I just love surprises.
Nice.
Perfect.
Real quick, I just want to let everybody know there's a tweet going around from Chick-fil-A that is not actually from Chick-fil-A, you guys. The tweet asks people if they would eat a sandwich made by a homosexual, and it's a poll. And the replies to this thing are absolutely horrific.
Yeah.
And the poll is like 90% saying no. It's a fucking parody site, guys. Always look for the blue check mark. Always.
Yeah. And check the reference always too when you see a news story or some article. Just make sure, like, where's the source? Just make sure. Sean Uli says, do you and Monkey still do the movie commentaries? Not recently. I don't know.
No, we haven't done one since what was it called? Reservoir Dogs. That's the last one we did.
We never did that. I
thought we did.
No, you said you wanted to. We never did. We talked about it on one of the streams.
Oh, okay. Maybe that's what I'm remembering.
Rich at Art, Scribe Light, Satsu, I made a birthday fan art for you. Is it too late to send it? No. Okay, go ahead. We always like fan art, whatever it is. L Vicaro 555. Lords Night, what is your best guess for who will take the 2020 DNC nomination? One of the people currently running.
Booker. Especially him being the first one to actually show balls to go after someone else.
Yeah, I'm not going to make predictions. I am curious to see how Booker will do. Certainly, I think he's of all the candidates up there right now. He's got one of the best stories. He's got some of the best passion, and I think he's got not to fall back on a Trump meme, but he's got the most energy that I've seen of everybody up on that stage, or will be on that stage.
12 minutes ago, Bart put out this story. Virginia, 1984. Biden called Jesse Jackson boy.
Oh, no.
They are coming after him hard.
Kay Rozering, do you have any advice for my 21st birthday? Drink responsibly. Know when to say when.
Oh, dear Christ. 21st birthday. Have fun, but be safe. I mean,
yeah.
Don't go overboard.
Zombie Teddy, what is the latest anyone can put in to run for the presidency? I think isn't up till the New Hampshire primary, something like that.
I know you used to be able to come in after that. I just don't remember. I don't know if there is an actual cutoff.
Yeah, I'm sure there has to be, like the day of the election. But Assassin of the Gray, Scribe Light, Spartacus is dumber than a box of rocks. No, he isn't. He's reckless in some of his passion at times, truth be told. He is not dumb. He needs to know what hills he wants to fight his battles on, and needs to get some self-control, that's for sure. But he's not a dumb guy. RJ Bandsma, how much of the left will eat themselves alive? All of it. All of it. I mean, there is going to be such a fracturing of the DNC over this. There's going to be, people behind each one of the candidates for different reasons, and many of them are going to have to grit their teeth to vote for whoever comes out on top, and many more will stay behind or go after the Libertarians or the Green Party or God knows what else. It's going to be an absolute mess unless one of these candidates becomes that sort of unifier, messianic, Obama-like figure that can somehow pull everybody together. I'm not saying it's likely, but it's not impossible.
I wonder by the election, how many political parties will we have?
Well, it'll be the same. It'll just be maybe diluted. I saw it for a second, but someone, who it was, thank you for the donation, whoever it was, unless by retracting the message or retracted the donation. I don't know what happened there. So ostensibly, thank you. Ebony Williams, and check your logic. Any advice for turning 30? Enjoy it, because 40 comes quick.
Don't think of it too much about. I know a lot of people see these milestones as a big deal. It's not. Just enjoy the ride. Just enjoy your ride.
Ebony Williams, Lords of the Night, if your life was a music video, what genre would it be and who would sing it? Well, I'd want to be in the music video Pound Cake by Van Halen because of the women. But other than that, I'd probably want it to be Alice in Chains. So that's a genre all by itself. No, and Lane Staley, Alice in Chains, not whatever the fuck they did after Lane died, like old school Alice in Chains.
What genre would it be? Holy fuck. To be honest, probably country, because there's a lot of downfalls in it. And not just on the stairs. Fuck, I don't know who I'd want to sing it.
Satsu?
Well, what was the question?
If your life was a music video, what genre would it be and who would sing it?
It would be pessimistic rock, and it would be sung by Droopy.
Dumbbeard asks a good question. 180 watching and only 106 upvotes? Well, I don't know. You guys think we're doing okay? If you like the show so far, appreciate a thumbs up. Thank you, James Colley. Kara, the best birthdays are ones with bad ideas. Well, just make sure you're not alone when you're making those bad ideas, and that you at least have someone to keep you grounded. That's all.
I distinctly disagree with that idea.
Midnight Exile. Scribe Light Cantrell was responsible for AIC's sound and largely the better singer. He did all the harmonies with Lane. Okay, hold on. Lane Staley recording himself singing lines in multiple ways and then overlaying those tracks together. That was him. Okay, and Lane Staley's style by its okay. I bought Cantrell's album when he went independent, Boggy Water or whatever it was called, and it wasn't nearly as powerful and as good as when Lane was involved. Okay, the songs were okay, but nothing memorable. It sounded like half of Alice in Chains. It sounded like a diluted Alice in Chains. Cantrell could not carry that style all by himself. Lane was key, and nothing I've heard from Alice in Chains since then has even come close to a single song on Dirt or even Facelift, So, and man, anyway, I could go on, but anyway, that's my opinion. RJ Bandsma, Scribe Light, favorite movie of yours that's bad? I don't have favorite movies that are bad. In my eyes, they're all good. I mean, other people think they're bad. I don't know.
Weekend at Bernie's is decidedly a bad film, but I love it. That movie is fucking horrible if you actually watch and pay attention.
Yeah.
But it's just mindless fun. So something like that, I would say.
I guess on reflection, one of those movies that it doesn't hold up but still makes me happy is let's say Cloak and Dagger. Dabney Coleman. I mean, you watch it now, it's really kind of goofy, but I still love it. Midnight Exile, Scribe Light, Lane did do overdubs, but Cantrell did harmonies almost as much as Staley sang. Yeah, but the overdubs were part of what made it unique, and you remove that, and you remove specifically Lane's voice, and especially when you're doing songs about addiction and drug use and pain and everything else. Lane was singing from the heart there, unfortunately, to a great degree, but for the sake of the art, it was much more powerful. And so, sure, Cantrell is a talented musician. I'm not going to deny that, but he cannot, in my opinion, stand alone without Lane and make it still Alice in Chains. And everybody they've brought in to try to be the lead singer thereafter, not even close. Not even close. So. Desert Tramp, Scribe Light, what kind of advice for those older 60s than you squirts? I have no advice for people older than me. I wouldn't know. I'm not there yet. I usually find it a little presumptuous for anybody younger than a certain age to start giving advice to people who've had a bit more experience, unless we're talking about, I've got more experience in my 20s in the realm of computer programming than this person in the 60s who doesn't, or something. So life advice, I have no fucking clue.
Have sex as often as you can and eat ramen. It's my advice for everyone.
Have a living will. Living will. That's the one piece of advice I hear from everybody who's older than me. Have a living will. So there you go. Data Wasteland, Scribe Light, have you tried the new Dark Berry Dr. Pepper? No, I haven't. I don't think I've even seen it. Well, truth be told, I haven't looked for it either, so it might be out there and I just don't know it. I thought they were only releasing it in limited areas anyway. Thank you, Dark Shade. Fleeking White Sue Floof tax? Floof? What's a floof? Is that a Dr. Seuss thing?
I'm not sure what a floof is. I've heard it recently. I think they mentioned it on Ghost Poo this afternoon.
Unless it's like a reference to like a fluffer. I'm certainly not going to do that. Let's see. Let's see. Evil One, Scribe Light, have everyone listen and watch Love, Hate, Love live, the black and white version. Is that from Unplugged, or is there a different, or is there like a concert version? I haven't. I like that song, but no, I still think Down in a Hole is still one of my favorite Alice in Chains songs. There's a lot of good Alice in Chains songs on that album, and Wood is still great. Rooster is still excellent. I mean, everything on Dirt just about is a classic in my mind. Anyway, let's see. Assassin of the Gray, Scribe Light, floof equals big fluffy dog. Oh, all right. There's a big fluffy dog that requires a tax. Okay. I don't know. Evil One says I'll send it to you on Twitter. Okay. Did I miss this one? I said, oh, let's see. Chicago Mike, favorite musician who is surprise cease living. So favorite dead musician.
Favorite dead musician?
Monkey's going to say Prince. Yeah, exactly.
Prince.
I guess my default would then be Lane Staley, but he's part of a band, so Well, at least from my era of music, I'd probably say Chris Cornell, because even when he was doing solo stuff without Soundgarden, he was still really good, really talented guy. Loved his voice, very iconic for when I was growing up. So yeah, I'll say Chris Cornell.
I don't have an answer for that.
Oh, okay. Ebony Williams, favorite article of clothing on a woman. There's no article of clothing that should be on a woman. No,
I agree.
Yeah,
a nice hat sometimes.
A skirt.
Give me
because sorry.
A good baseball cap. I like that on one.
Either a skirt because it teases the attention, let's say.
Does it Donald Trump?
Or what?
What? She's wearing a skirt in a story.
When she's wearing one of my button-up shirts and nothing else.
Oh God, that's awesome.
That's hot. Thank you, Dark Shade. Floof refers to Irate Bear's floofy hair. Oh, did he grow his hair back? I always think of him with his head shaved or like really short cropped hair. I haven't seen him live in a while, so. El Vaquero, happy summer solstice. Wait, does that mean I'm worshiping like some kind of pagan god now?
Yes.
Oh shit. Okay. Satan's gonna be upset with me. Let's see. Lion Patriots is Buddy Holly, a good choice. Chicago Mike says John Lennon. Check Your Logic says Prince as well. Chicago Mike. Oh, oops. You didn't mean John Lennon. Lowell George. Oh, is that John Lennon's real name? I think that is. Evil One says Lane Staley, Jaco Pasteur. Don't know who that is. Dimebag. Oh yeah, and Hendrix. Keith Moon. That's my band. Oh yeah, Hendrix. Faithless says Freddie Mercury. Ebony Williams says Satsu. Are you okay?
Am I okay?
Yes.
As far as I know.
Okay. Peter Silak 313, Jim Morrison, Sean DW175, Janice Joplin. Oh, we're going back to all the oldie moldies. Let's see. Check Your Logic. Ebony Williams. I was struggling with this, but how could I forget my favorite article on a woman? A denim jacket. That's very 80s of you.
Denim.
Old Grouchy Gamer, David Bowie. Yep. Let's see. Oh, Ebony says, I asked because you were so quiet. Are you quiet because you're not up to participating, Satsu? Did we scare you?
I thought I was not participating as much as I usually do.
Yeah, I don't know. Let's see. Elva Caro. John Wayne's birth name was Marion Mitchell Morrison. Indeed. You know what Cary Grant's real name was?
Steve.
Archibald Leach.
Bruh.
I think he made a good choice in changing his name. Let's see. Ebony Williams says, I'm too young to participate in this conversation. Well, fuck. I identified Pat Boone from a photograph last night, so shit, what does that say about me? Sean Uli, thigh-high socks. Ooh, I do like thigh-high socks on a woman. That's true. Yeah, thigh-highs. Especially when it's thigh-high socks and a relatively short skirt. Oh, yeah, you emphasize those thighs.
Just a little squishy. Just
a little bit. James Colley, thank you. Not oldie moldies, just decomposed musicians. Now, those are surprise mechanics. Let's see. Midnight Night South says, Cleese played a character named Archie Leach. Yes, he did, didn't he? Excuse me. Oh, do you know what Michael Keaton's real name is?
Michael Douglas.
Yes, very good. You know what Nicolas Cage's real name is?
Steve.
Nicholas Coppola. Because he is related to that family, and he changed his name. And do you know where he took his last name from? His stage name?
No. I've heard it, but I don't remember.
His favorite comic book character, Luke Cage, Hero for Hire. Let's see. Byron King says Scribe Light, thigh high go-go boots. Those also work as well. Anything that sort of like accentuates or centers the thigh on a woman, I like. Check your logic. Scribe Light. I would go with Alma Gluck, Bessie Smith, John McCormick, and maybe Al Jolson. Yes, I know you wouldn't be familiar with most of them. Well, I have heard of Al Jolson. I don't know that I've heard of the others. So, Sean DW165. Do you know Ozzy's real name? Not off the top of my head, no. Holy cow. 5 minutes to go, guys. See if you have any other questions. Remember, we're on 2 cents plus after this. 7 Days to Die with Monkey and Satsu. Is Sinatra going to be joining you?
I don't know.
Okay.
As far as I know.
And what else? Yeah, I think that's all the excitement. Data Wasteland says, Scribe Light, at least it was Pat Boone and not Daniel Boone. That would be a trick. Certainly. RJ Bansma, truth or dare? I dare you to snort. Snort what?
Oh, this was
like
sorry.
Ich habe Cocaine geschniffen? Like that? There you go.
Doritos is running a ad campaign.
Yeah.
Where you can apparently win a special Spider-Man bag for Doritos.
Okay.
Which I entered, by the way.
Okay.
And you enter by putting in the hashtag incognito Dorito and hashtag entry into the replies, telling them what superpower Doritos gives you.
Oh, diarrhea.
That was one of the answers somebody's put already. Explosive diarrhea, yeah. I don't think you guys thought this through.
Oh, it's going to be funny.
I said it gives me nacho farts, so.
Lords of the Night, what's your favorite female body part? Well, this is going to sound odd. You know what always was sort of the weirdest turn on for me in school? It'd be when a girl would be leaning forward in her chair, like at a desk or something, and that little bit of waist in between the shirt bottom and the pants.
Okay.
For some reason, just seeing that little bit of skin, because usually, like in school, there's not a whole lot of skin going on. Just for something about that was really always kind of a turn on. I'm not going to say it's my favorite part, but it was the most consistent thing that always kind of like made me pay attention. That little bit of waist where you could see where the curve of the waist is and everything. Just a little bit of that, or a little bit of the back. That was always nice.
Yeah, I can relate.
For me, it's on the front side of the pant, right where the hip starts going down, or coming up, and the pelvic starts going down. That spot right there. If we're not talking about vagina,
that little ridge, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, no,
the crevice.
Yeah.
Ebony Williams, would you rather control the weather or change into any animal?
Change to
weather.
Any animal.
I probably want to do the weather. That's because I would go places that are like droughted and make it rain, and then I would make it not like disgustingly hot when it was hot out or disgustingly cold when it was cold out.
Well, wait a minute. Is it like comic book change the weather where it doesn't have any actual bearing on the actual ecosystem and won't completely destroy everything the moment you do it? Because if so, then sure.
I'm going to say sort of localized storm, like from X-Men weather control, where she can kind of manipulate what's ever within line of sight effectively within a certain range, but not like global changing the weather.
So, but this, I don't know. I think being able to turn into any animal would be much more versatile of an ability.
Well, there's a show that you need to watch then. It's called Manimal from the 80s.
What about Animorphs? Remember that?
No. Fuck Animorphs. Manimal. Look up Manimal. Find some episodes. They're probably on YouTube somewhere. That's going to be your bag. Tell you what. We're almost at the top of the hour. El Vaquero says, if I could control the weather, I would be one wrathful deity. Well, then it's a good thing you can't, because we don't need that. We already have CNN. And with that, guys, by the time I finish this, we'll be at the top of the hour and the end of the show. So, guys, thank you so much for coming out to join us, as you always do every night. Thank you so much for all the likes, by the way. We're at 125, even though there's 162 of you watching. So I guess some of you just don't have an opinion about, whether you like the show or not. That's fine. I understand centrists. It's okay. Remember, guys, again, over on 2 Cents Plus after this, you can watch Monkey and Satsu fight zombies in 7 Days to Die. Also, at the usual time tomorrow on Monkey's channel, we will be here once again to deliver to you news and entertainment and other such things. And also, personal plug, Sunday at 12 p.m. Pacific, 3 p.m. Eastern Time, I'll be doing an episode of Familiar with the Matter with Peter Stewart regarding cybersecurity. Everyone, again, thank you for joining us. Moderators, thank you for keeping an eye on things, even though we have the best behaved audience in the world. Everyone who donated, thank you so much for your generosity. It'll all go towards horrible things that I'll put into my body, like Jack Daniels and goldfish. Monkey, Satsu, thank you for joining me as always.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone else, the fact that I have to now go watch some more Jessica Jones season 3 makes me sad. And we'll see you tomorrow.
Bye, guys.
Fuck off.
That sounded very weak, Satsu. You want to try that again?
Fuck off.
There you go. Need some power in there.
Put some stank on it.
Sure. And per tradition, I'm going to screw the roses, send me the thorns, the romance and sexual sorcery of sadomasochism. And hopefully I can find a word better than pus, as we had from Squishy the other night. Survey says, ooh, that's a great word. Ooh, I like it. All right. Today's secret word is libidinous.
The hell does that mean?
It refers to libido.
Oh,
Like, it. I'll read it in context, like it's a spelling bee. Whipping or sexual torment, in addition to the standard libidinous heat and desire, can produce feelings ranging from exhilaration to intoxication.
I thought you said the business.
Well, that also